Heyo! Oh, welcome back, everybody. This is EonShiKeno, back to commentate some more StarCraft 2 matches from Intel Extreme Masters Tournament. We've got some more group play. Over here on the right side of Antigua Shipyard is going to be our purple Zerg player from Clan Empire. It's going to be viOLet. And on the left side, his opponent, and what I would consider the favorite for this best of 3 series, is going to be Slayer's MMA, our red Terran player. So, like I was just saying, MMA, probably the favorite, no, actually definitely the favorite between these two players, but I wouldn't put it past viOLet. He's been an up-and-comer, and, you know, whenever you're playing out of land, crazy things can happen, so we will see this series if MMA is going to sweep it, or if viOLet's going to be able to, you know, change the future, upset reality, and take MMA. But one thing, a little bit of a news item while both players are doing their openings. viOLet is actually going to be attending the Lone Star Clash, the tournament I'm commentating, coming up this weekend, March 17th and 18th. It's the Saturday and Sunday. He will be there playing it, and I will be commentating on the secondary stream. On the primary stream, they're going to have Rotterdam, Mr. Bitter, and Axel Toss, and also some, I think they're going to throw in some, like, players, such as Grubby, because Grubby's going to be there. He's a really good commentator. So they'll probably do some stuff like that. So, if you guys are going to not be busy Saturday, Sunday, stop by the stream, check me out, watch the event. Should be pretty fun. A lot of good players showing up for that. So, viOLet getting us some scouting information here, seeing the gas first. And he's going to go for his hatch first. And quickly going to go up, throw that extractor up, and probably research some speed there. So Marine's coming out for MMA. MMA really likes macro play. I've seen him throw down in GSL, you know, like a quick second, third command center, and just try and play a late game macro. So viOLet's going to go ahead and steal this extractor, mostly to keep his drone alive. It's not like he's worried about MMA taking a second gas right now. Mostly it's just because he wants to keep his drone alive. He can cancel it and rebuild it. That way he doesn't have to worry about microing it and stuff like that. He just has to pay attention to it, cancel it, and then start it up again. So he's going to get a little bit of scouting information. And he'll probably, as soon as he feels like he's going to lose it, he'll probably just cancel it and run over here to scout to see what's going on in the front of his opponent's base. Because you don't have that much vision, as you can see, with this extractor as it's building. But once it's done, you do have a little bit more, so you may just let it finish. We will see. And MMA is moving this Marine closer because if you... Yeah, actually, there we go. He scouts it out, and he's going to go build again. MMA moves this Marine closer to the extractor, so he can actually do some damage to that drone before it can start building again. So it's just a little tip for you guys. And MMA does scout out the expansion. He sees all the good stuff going on there. 2 Zerglings coming out for viOLet, and he's also making out 2 Queens. Take some guys off gas, and he's going to start just pumping up some drones. He's going to do some drone, and he's going to have to deal with this reactor Hellion play coming out of MMA. Which isn't too much of a surprise. And down here at the bottom building, a command center out in the open. So viOLet has some, things he can do here. He can either try and defend this with roaches or defend it with spine crawlers. I mean, some Zerg players like to defend it with Zerglings and Queens and spine crawlers, but it just kind of just depends on your preference. You can defend it with very few number of roaches because roaches just destroy Hellions. So it just depends on how you want to play. 2 Hellions are out here for MMA, heading out across the map. And viOLet is trying to spread some creep towards the front of his base so he can put the spine crawlers up here, which is a lot better position for defending. And viOLet's just continuing to steal this gas, and at this point I think it's actually being pretty effective, all things considered, unless he starts to throw down another command center, but we'll see. This SCV's trying to get through there. These 2 Hellions are just like, we're busy, dude. Come back later. Back here at the expansion, MMA is actually going to lose both of his Hellions. Getting a little sloppy there. He must have been paying attention to this or something because those Hellions just got destroyed, and I don't think he actually killed anything. He killed 1 worker, so he probably killed 1 worker up there. This drone turned to that gas geyser, and there's that quick 3rd command center from MMA, so kind of as I assumed he was going to go with here. And Zergling's going to get into the expansion here of MMA, maybe get a couple more Hellion kills, get us around on the left. No, MMA just trying to wiggle her around there. He's got a couple kills, and he should be able to clean up the rest of these Zerglings. Yep, going to finish off the rest of that. So a lot of bit better control here from MMA with the second batch of Hellions. He's got 6 kills and 6 kills and 3 kills on each of those respectively. Still no tech up to lair for viOLet, but he's making 8 roaches. And he stopped drone production, making a bailing nest. I kind of feel that viOLet, I mean, he hasn't thrown up a third either. I really feel that viOLet is just going to go for a big attack right now. There's really no indicator at the current moment that he's going to try and play a macro game. And he doesn't know about this expansion up here. But if he knows MMA's playstyle as well as I do, which I would assume he does, he's already knows that there's just the third command center in his base right now. And MMA is kind of vulnerable to this attack. It's just going to come down to whether or not he's going to get siege done and will he have those siege tanks in a good position. So siege tank is close to being done. And MMA, if he puts these siege tanks in a good position, maybe up here on the high ground, he should be able to deal with this pretty well. So let's just see how well viOLet's big attack is going to work here. He's going to have banelings. But like I said, there's going to be siege tanks up here on the high ground. He's moving those guys all the way to the very edge. He's going to siege those up. So they'll have nice coverage of this entire front ramp. So we're just going to see how much damage viOLet's going to be able to do. He's got banelings over on the right side of the map. Roach is sneaking in here. Hellions doing some nice scouting up here in the front, giving vision of those tanks. And why haven't you sieged up those tanks, MMA? You need to siege those guys up. You got an attack coming in. And speaking of attack, here it comes. He's pulling the Hellions back. Now the tanks are going to siege up, so they wanted to wait, kind of bait him in there. Now he's going to go for it, so I like that idea there. Roach is getting a lot of damage. Focus fire down on the banelings, doing a big hit there. At most, he's going to deny this expansion, but there's no way he's going to get into that main. There's two tanks in there, and there's plenty of Marines in the Hellions. So while viOLet did manage to bust the main, he did delay this expansion. So if he feels like it, he can decide to throw down a third. A lot of Marines coming out now, and Hellions is going to be able to hold this. MMA seems like he's going to have enough units to deal with this, and viOLet's going to fall back. But he's got more units incoming, but they're being taken out by that tank there, just stopping those reinforcements. Some more Zerglings are getting taken out on the way, just losing to rally points there. So unfortunately, viOLet needs to fix his rally points there. And so MMA was slowly, just for a little bit, blocked off by those roaches and banelings. viOLet got in there a little bit, disrupted the mining, but I don't really think it was that worth it. Let's check the resources lost. He lost about 2,000 resources behind MMA. And did MMA lose 2,000 resources in mining? Probably not. Actually, definitely not. He was still calling mules into his main, so it's not like he lost the mule mining capability. So I think that definitely went in MMA's favor, in his flavor. But I'm thinking about what he did with the siege tanks there. Now, he knew siege tech was done. I think he was baiting the Hellions here. He had the Hellions out front, so he knew at all points, okay, is he going to attack? Is he going to attack? And he was waiting for viOLet to make the commitment. All right, he's going to attack. Now I'm going to siege up. He's went past the point of no return, and think about it. If he would have had his tank sieged up before he attacked, he would have pushed up with like a roach, saw that first tank shot, and then thought, oh man, he's already got tanks, I'm not going to attack this. This is stupid. So I like the idea there from MMA. So confident in his ability to defend that. He holds off on the siege tank deployment and just lets viOLet come on in. So third base is going up here for MMA. viOLet does get his a little bit sooner and already has it pretty much fully saturated mineral-wise. So that's working out for him. MMA in the lead as far as supply count and upgrades. Both players researching 1-1 respectively. And Lair is about halfway done. More siege tanks on the way. Stim is also being researched back here. We've got MMA making a bunch of Marines and getting some nice upgrades as he started. He has a second engineering bay around here somewhere. There it is. I'm blind. And he's also starting some medevac play also. So I'm really curious to see about what food count we're going to see MMA push out. Until then, he's going to sit around here, probably wait for maybe 2-2 to finish, get combat shields done, siege up his tanks, and just kind of play defensive versus viOLet. So there's an opportunity here for viOLet to just macro up like crazy. I think it'll be a good, 2 or 3 minutes before MMA decides to attack. And there's the combat shields being researched. So, and that time, I don't know. It's 2080. Yeah, I like this. This is pretty close, synced up here. The combat shield should finish about the same time +2 does. So that's probably the timing we're going to see MMA push out with. He may just do like a fake push out before then, or he may just be doing some medevac harass. So until he gets these upgrades, I don't think we're going to see the siege tanks push out. But until then, I like the idea to go with the medevacs and start doing some drop harass. So we'll see how viOLet's going to be able to handle those drops in his main. He's already thrown up some spine crawlers, 1 spore crawler, so he's going to be pretty ready for that. But 2 medevacs with Marines and Stim. I don't think 2 spine crawlers are going to be enough. He's going to have to pull some Zerglings there from his main to deal with it. So 2-2 on the way also for a viOLet for his Zerglings. He's got spine crawler and a medevac there. In the middle, Zerglings pushing up a little bit. And going to take out a couple of Marines. Nope. Stim is going to go down, and he's forced to pull back. So at the right side here, we have the medevac going in for a drop. It's going to run straight into that spore crawler, and the Queen is going to be on the other side, but he's going to do a nice drop there with the Marines, and he's going to be able to, wow, just paint the whole back of his base here with Marines. And yeah, doing a lot of damage here. Zergling's now being pulled in, but he's losing so many. Oh my gosh. Pick up right before the Baneling attack. Oh my god, that was so close. That'd just be terrible if he died to a spore crawler. No, he does not. So Zergling's here getting a big surround on MMA's army, but the tanks in the back dealing a lot of damage. And he picks him up with the medevac, only losing 2 or 3, and he's just kind of dropping him out there. I'm not sure why he was doing that. But MMA, nice attack there on the back. Killed a couple drones. He had 1 drone kill earlier, so that gave him 11 drone kills. And just kind of, sidetracked viOLet's focus. So we have 7 infestors on the way. I don't think he has any out yet. A lot of Zerglings, a couple Banelings still in there. Do they have the speed upgrade? No, they do not. Actually, yeah, they do. So Queen dies up there in the front. Tanks going out, and we have a Thor out. Really not that useful because there's no mutas out at the moment, but MMA playing a little safe. He's pushing out 3-3 on the way here for MMA. MMA is going to have some better upgrades going on into the late game, but here we have some infestors pushing out big fungals there, and he actually picked up those Marines. And they aren't going to take any damage from that, but a couple of those did do a lot of damage. 2 fungals do kill those Marines. And Marines pulling back there a little bit. There's a lot of Zerglings and a lot of fungal. There's 3 tanks here in the back. Infestors falling. So it seems like MMA with some nice control is going to be able to continue to harass the top up there. Push forward. viOLet's going to lose all these infestors. He can't lose those guys. That's his money. Marines here at the top are just going to push forward, take out that spine crawler. And back here in the middle, tank in a really nice position. With just 2 life left. That's just terrible. Zerglings do not get in there, unfortunately. Marines over here on the left managed to take out everything. And he's going to pick up, did he pick up that tank? No, he didn't. He picked up the Thor. There's the GG. And we're going to see MMA take game number 1 here. So, I mean, this is just a clinic of how MMA plays TvZ. He was so confident in his style and so confident that he could hold that 2-base play that Empire viOLet threw at him. He dealt with the Banelings perfectly. He focused the Banelings with the tanks. That wasn't a problem. Roaches, sure, it delayed a little bit of mining, but in the long run, I think MMA was better for it. That whole time, he was like, oh, I'm going to get a third also. So he had triple orbital. So he had the better economy that whole time. viOLet was going on a risk there, thinking he could take out MMA, but MMA wasn't gonna, he wasn't gonna have any of it. He had the tanks in a great position, and this is such a good map to have those siege tanks set up because they can just cover your whole entrance, and worked out really good for MMA. So MMA going to take game number 1. Let's run game number 2 coming up next.